Hey everyone, it's Joshua Hagan, your realtor with the Joshua Hagan team, and I am driving to work. And no, even though it looks like that phone is right in front of me, it is not right in front of me. I've got plenty of room to see. I had to get creative with my placement of that thing. I think I've done one other Facebook Live video before, and we'll see how this goes. Anyway, I am letting everybody know I'm on my way to work. I am feeling optimistic about the, hey, how are you? Feeling optimistic about the real estate market. Got a lot of things going on, and most people consider this time in January, December, November to be kind of the dead times in real estate. Got 14 things under contract right now, and I don't say that to brag. I say it because of the fact that real estate's moving in Northwest Arkansas. I've talked to some people, and I get a couple of different responses to real estate moving. First response is, well, real estate's not moving because it's not the right time of year. I wish I could believe that. Well, no, not really. I don't wish I could believe that, because it's how I make my living, is moving real estate. The other part is I'm seeing it totally different, and a lot of people that I know are seeing it totally different. One of the cool things about being at Keller Williams over any other real estate company out there is the fact that in January 2017 to January 2018, we're actually selling 20% more. We sold, 20% more properties in value volume than we did in 2017, this same time of year. And we were the #1 company in 2017, and I can see that trend is going to continue. I can't speak for other real estate companies out there, but I know we at Keller Williams are moving property. I'm having a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, I have a house that I had listed in Gravette that went out there, met with the family. It was about 2 weeks ago. It takes about a week for properties to go live that I list because of the stuff that I like to do ahead of time, just getting it ready. This house had been listed on the market for 18 months. It actually been 3 years that they've been trying to sell it. In the middle of that time period, though, they let somebody move into the house because their house had burnt down and no one was living there. Really great couple. And let these people move in for a time period. Then they put it back on the market. It was sitting on the market, like I said, for 18 months. Put it on the market, and according to the MLS, it says 5 days, but I think it was 4 days. I put this thing under contract, and I got the buyer because of the marketing and stuff that I was doing on the property. And that's just a lot of fun when that happens. It's a lot of fun because not only am I getting to sell the property and I'm going to make money, that's an obvious, anyone watching, you know, business is business. But what's exciting is seeing these people who had wanted their property to sell and had been trying for 18 months. Honestly, when I was talking to them, they wanted it, but I don't know that their belief was actually there that they were going to be able to sell it. And it was fun being able to call them and say, I got an offer on your house. And it was a little lower than what they wanted, so they countered at where they wanted to be. We worked it all out. The buyers are excited to buy it. The sellers are excited to buy it. Buyers are pre-approved, thank goodness. Doesn't mean it's anything can happen, but it's as good as we can get. They're so excited, and matter of fact, they were praising the Lord when when I talked to them about it and stuff. So super glad. Tell you another thing that happened. I actually wasn't planning on telling these stories. I was going to talk about some other stuff, but I actually like this story too. I had this closing that I closed Wednesday, and man, this thing, the buyers had come back. It just felt like we're being nitpicky, just these little things, and I kept, and then when the buyers got satisfied, the bank turns around and says, well, we're going to make you do this before we're going to give you the loan. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. And the sellers were just distraught and all of this stuff, and finally was able to bring them to closing, and they were signing everything. Actually, excuse me, let me back up. the morning of closing, Wednesday morning. They were supposed to come in at noon. She gives me a call, I think it's around 7:30-ish in the morning, gives me a call and says, "You will never believe what's going on." And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what's about to happen? This is closing day, you know. And she says, "My daughter-in-law is having contractions 3 minutes apart." And I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding me. And she says, "Is there any way?" She tried to work it out. They're in Oklahoma. She said, can we, you know, do a FaceTime? Like, no, legal documents, we can't do that. She says, well, what can we do? I called the title company, got their closing moved up to as quickly as we could. I mean, they jetted from Grove, Oklahoma, got here and signed the paperwork and jetted back out. We contacted them that evening. They got everything signed, everything closed. They're happy. They bought a new house. They're happy with it. And they got the, they went over and got their baby. We texted them that night to make sure everything was still good. She texted a picture back and said that she was so excited. "Hey, good morning, Sherry. Thanks for the good morning." She texted back and said that, you know, everything's good. She was holding her new grandbaby. And man, that's a blessing. You know what? When you're able to help people get through life stuff, and real estate, man, it can be stressful. If you're not, it can be stressful even if you're doing it all the time. But if it, you know, when you're talking about the biggest investment of your life for 99% of all Americans, and they've got to turn around and figure out a way to get it sold, and then all of this junk happens, that's stressful. And that's one of the things I come in. One of the things that I really like to do is to make it the least amount stressful as I possibly can. And sometimes you just can't get away from it when you're having a baby and all these things are happening in your life. And so on Valentine's Day, this couple, they sold their house, bought a brand new house, and got a brand new grandbaby. What a Valentine's Day, right? And then I gave them some chocolate covered strawberries. You know, that was probably the best gift they got all day. And that was a joke for those who are watching. But it was a lot of fun. And something that I actually got on here was to talk about the real estate market right now. That was kind of what I was at. Bentonville, I'm driving through Bentonville going to work right now. Bentonville market's doing great. If you're under, pulling to the stoplight, so I'll look at this real quick, make sure I'm correct. If you are under 300,000, your market's moving great. If you're over 300,000, you need a great realtor. Now, it doesn't mean you don't need a great realtor below 300, but it just, if you're over 300, it's going to take somebody getting in there and really marketing and helping you get it sold for sure, because of the fact that there's not as many buyers right now in that market. But things are selling. We are actually, as a company at Keller Williams, our price point has gone up. We're selling higher priced homes this year, this January, over last January. And we're seeing a lot of good things happening across the board. Numbers are up. We're helping more families and everything. So I'm super glad about that. Hey, Denise, I'm glad you're watching. Rick, man, it's good to see you on. Hope you guys are having a great day. And Denise, I hope your family's doing well. We talked to Don the other day. Tell him hi if you talk to him, and hope your kids are doing well. And so just a lot of good things are going on in the real estate market. If you guys have questions, this is another thing I wanted. I'm probably going to be doing some of these on a regular basis, but I've got questions of my own that I can answer. The thing is, though, is I would really like to answer your questions and come back, and some of them you can ask while we're on right now, and I might be able to answer them. But if it's market stuff, that's things that I'll have to actually put more time into, which I'm fully willing to do and want to do for you. And just to find out what's going on, if you have questions about where real estate's going in Northwest Arkansas, where it's headed, what's going on in your neighborhood, things like that, stuff I definitely want to help you with. So if y'all want to do that, you can. And a lot of things going on in real estate. Let me think of another good story. I've got a, okay, so here's another good story. I'm going to give you guys all my good stories. I'm going to have some more. This past month, I put under contract, I've had a church that was for sale. And I'll be honest with you, I don't ever want to see a church go for sale. I'd rather see a church be a church. But in this case, you know, the church was kind of out in the middle of Gentry. And just, you know, it was started in 1935. Excuse me. And back in 1935, they needed the church because, you know, people didn't drive. They just walked. They needed a place that they could go. Some people drove, I guess. But anyway, life was completely different. I wasn't around. Completely different in 1935 than it is right now. And so people stayed a lot closer to home. But over the years, the church just kind of dwindled and went down to where it was just a few people, even in the church. The pastor had gone up there in years, and no one really wanted to go out there and become the pastor of the church, which is, again, sad. I'd much rather see a church be a church than see it sold. But I was out there, I took pictures of it, and if you were to walk into this church, it's really cool, is that you walk into it, it's almost like if you know what the Bible talks about, at one point it talks about the believers are going to be raptured up. Well, this place looked like the rapture had happened, because it looks like they're going to be having church in 30 minutes. The way the building's set up, the way everything's there. And so when I bring people in there, I'm like going, hey, okay, you just got to realize everything's just left. They just kind of left, which is, again, kind of sad. But what ended up happening, I have this guy who's moving in from out of town, that his family lives up here. He owns his own business. He's going to be able to take this building, have part of it as his home, and the other part is his shop. It's really cool what's going to happen. I've talked to the neighbors out there. They're glad that he's moving out there, and looking forward to having him out there. And so I think it's going to turn out to be a really good situation. And that's, you know, again, it's what I like to do, bring people together. Hey, Matt, I don't know if you're bring them on camera. Oh, I could bring anybody on camera. Didn't know about that. I might have to do that at some point. I won't do it to you, though. So, anyway, guys, I'm just heading into work. Again, write me some text messages or comments on here. Tell me what you want me to talk about on some of these morning drives, and I'll do that. You know, I don't know how long it'll take. It may not take very long, and stuff, but we'll just see. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Have a good one. I can figure out how to finish this. Bye.